what is going on right now? This is absolutely a huge time of energy shifts and things going on in our life. I'm going to give just a few minutes for people to get on here. And there's just so much going on. And I was talking to the boss before I got on here. That's why I'm a little late. Because I wanted to know what's happening on the planet right now to give you the purest, most clean message that I can, because there is so much going on. Many of you have probably already felt these wild shifts. I've had a lot of people calling me this week saying what is going on. I've had texts, I've had Instagram messages, I've had Facebook messages. Everybody wants to know what's going on. This is an energetically huge dynamic shift that's happening. It's happening now, and it's getting us ready for the solar eclipse season, which is coming up in just a few months. So we just had the new moon come in here in the last couple of days and shifted the energy. So for those of you that are just learning about energy shifts or the energy shift updates, we have a moon and a sun, and those are the two ruling planets for Earth. And as they shift or move, it affects the electromagnetism of our planet, which in turn affects our physical bodies, which in turn affects our emotional bodies, and also our spirit bodies. So the last couple of weeks, you might have noticed your internet went weird. You might have noticed that calls dropped for absolutely no reason. This is just part of the electromagnetism. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I try to stay out of the politics and stuff like that and not spread, fear and fear-mongering and all that. However, I do want you to be aware, and I do desire for you to be awake. So it is time, people, to wake. It's past time. This is go time. All last year we were waking up, we were changing ourselves, we were working on our interpersonal selves, and we were expanding our growth, and we were expanding our abilities spiritually. So right now, this is go time. So if you've ever been in a situation, like if you're in the military, if you're a police department, or some kind of a rescue organization, they get everybody ready, they gather all the supplies, they put you on the boat, the ship, or the car, and when you arrive, you roll up and you wait for the person in charge to say it's go time, and then you hit the decks running. And this is it, baby. If you're not already running, now's the time to get running. So let me share some information with you right up front. I did go to my toolsofenergyprotection.com appointments link today, and I did update it. I have quite a few people that watch me but have not reached out to me yet to work together. So I put up some consult times for this week. If you don't know what's going on, if you're frustrated, if you're confused, the two biggest phrases I've heard this week is, I'm so done, right? And when will this be over? So if that is you, please go on toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on the personal sessions link, and I have put a consult up there. It is a decent energy exchange, so if you've been waiting for something like that, please jump on. Now, back to what's happening. It is June 4th, 2019. It's almost halfway through the year, if you can believe it. And the planets are shifting. They're always shifting. We know that. We can watch the stars at night. And in those shifts, it affects the frequency, the electromagnetic frequency in on the planet and in our bodies. And there's something called the heartbeat of the Earth. So if you're wanting to know what that looks like in real time, go look up heartbeat of the Earth, and you can actually see something that shows you the frequencies changing as if you were looking at a seismograph and their earthquakes. And so what's been revealed to me today and the last few days, I went through a real rough period a couple of weeks ago. I just couldn't seem to make my life work. I couldn't seem to make things feel right. All of the aspects of my life to do with relationships were just off. And it didn't matter my relationship to what? To people, to money, to places, to things, to even time. Time got out of hand. I looked at a digital clock and went and did something that takes me about 5 minutes, and I came back and it was 5 minutes prior to the time that I looked at the clock. So that's a pretty huge shift, and I know that there's some solar flares, and a lot of times I talk about the moon and the new moon energies, but the solar flares also can cause great disturbances on the planet, and they can cause us to feel weird about ourselves, about emotions, about all kinds of things. So I'm going to ask you for the next 6 weeks to really watch your own emotions in relationship to other persons, places, people, or things. This is so unimaginable. This energy is so unimaginable to our regular human consciousness that we often don't pay attention to these things. We think it's just us. We think we're just weird. We think we're fed up. But this is it. God's beautiful divine plan was to put these planets in place, and that they shift and keep our human emotions, our energy and motion moving forward. So we're growing and changing. Otherwise, we'd probably just stagnate. So this is a huge time. And I am definitely here if you need me to help look at the energies you might be experiencing and to help you understand, because I found this weekend that I got some understanding on what was going on inside of me, and what was the energy and motion that was being pushed up that I was attempting to deal with, and I didn't want to deal with it. And quite frankly, I tried to stuff it down, and it just kept bubbling up in ways that I didn't understand. And now I do, and I'm working with new energy, with new information, and this time that is turbulent and full of a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, I'm actually being lifted up into change, and you can also be lifted up into change if you allow it. So I'd like for you all to think about, for those of you that were around during this time, back about 10 years ago. And so that would have been 2009. And if you remember, in that time, there was a lot of news media that came up talking about Y2K and how all of the computers didn't know, in 2000, sorry. It'd been 19 years ago. I'm having trouble with my math. But during that time that Y2K came, and there was all this news media out of take the money out of the bank, and make sure you have copies of all your investments, because when the computers turn from 1999 to 2000, they're going to freak out, and you'll lose your money, and you'll lose all your records. And I mean, it was a really big hoopla, a really big deal. And sorry, I'm my mind with time. You see what I'm talking about? Messing up the dates. But Y2K came around, and we all still lived. We all still breathed. The stock market still went on. Our bank accounts were still there, and so were our bills. And there was no problem. But the news media made a big hoopla about it. Really, really big. And people bought into it, and fear was everywhere. People were tense. People were nervous. People were shocky. People stopped spending money. People bought up, at one hand they stopped spending money, and on the other hand they went out and bought up all the supplies they could think of water and food and just all kinds of crazy things. So that time, those energies that were pervasive with the planets, with the stars, are coming into play now. So you're going to see, again, a lot of news media playing things up really super big to pump out fear to people. And that's just where it's at. And I do the best I can to love people. I do the best I can to share joy and uplifting love, because God's Spirit Source really does love us and wants us to succeed. And we've been given some really tough energetic boundaries right now, and we're brushing up against them for success and not for failure. But the world around us is going to start seeing things change very quickly, very rapidly, and that's why I do believe there's a little bit of time distortion as well. Because God's Spirit or Source is putting us into this shift. It's putting us into this waking up to becoming at one, becoming attuned, becoming atoned with our spiritual divine selves and our physical bodies. We all have emotions in our heart. We all have a brain. So I mentioned this last week, but if you notice, the divine loving energy comes through the top of the head. That's our connection to God's Spirit or Source, and then comes into our thinking, logical brain, goes down into our throats where we speak our truth, and then down into our hearts. And so Jesus told us to mind your heart and your mind. Guard your heart and your mind. Be aware. And what's happening right now is that we are not aware. We've been sleeping for a long time, and I include myself in that. We've been disturbed under other things like, worries, cares of everyday life, what we're doing next, how we're going to make a living, how we're going to do all the things that we need to do in a day. And it's been a lot. It's been extremely stressful. And, if you raise your hand or give me a thumbs up, what's going on right now is there's so much coming at us, and time is really going fast. And I know when you have children in your life, things go really fast. You're like, woo, it's the end of the school year. We get a chance to relax, which is what I thought. And no, it's still going. And the universe itself is speeding up. I haven't looked it up in science lately to see what the velocity is of our universe and our solar system, but I do believe that it would markedly show that we're going faster because I can feel it and I can sense it. And it's not easy. It's a tough time. So now that I've given you that, I'd also like to give you that even though it's going to be tough for a while, this is a time to draw close to the loved ones in your life. This is a time to be close to the people that you love, that maybe are your friends, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's your children, the people that are in your inner circle. Maybe some people you work with even. The people that are closest to you. It's time to get together with them. It's time to really draw tightly together because you're going to need emotional support during the times that are coming up. You cannot do this alone. If you're highly sensitive or empathic, it's going to be a little bit more challenging than normal. You're going to have some issues. So how to get rid of those issues? Some of them you can, some of them you can't. But do the best you can to draw into your heart, into a space of love. Do the best you can to get rid of the things that are just distracting you or annoying you. And a lot of those will be emotions. You'll find that you have some emotions that are blocking you from truly being able to go forward. And they're holding you back, and you may not even realize what they are. If you don't realize what they are, I can help you with that. Like I said, last weekend I got a huge revelation about what's been going on for me. Because up until that point I didn't realize it. I felt stuck. I felt like I was going through the same cycle over and over again. I kept saying to myself, I'm so done with this stuff. I don't want it anymore. Please, if you need help or assistance or awareness, basically it's awareness. You have, God's Spirit or Source will help you, but it's the awareness bit of learning what to look for, what key things to look for, what to put in the trash, what to leave behind, and who to cut out of your life. That's another big one that's happening right now. So many of us have had toxic people surrounding our lives, our hearts and our minds, and it's time to get rid of them. If you can't, if you have a job where people are close to you and they're in the next cubicle, or there's a melodrama going on and you can't get rid of those people, do the best you can to separate yourself and realize that's their drama, not yours. And you don't have to participate in it. You can choose not to participate in their drama because it's just theirs. All right, now we're in a 10-year cycle, and we're coming to the edge of that 10-year cycle. It's weird. The way that the energies work, it's like one loops over the other. And I think it's kind of the Fibonacci code. Look, if you've ever seen the Fibonacci code in like a cacti, you start here and it goes bigger and bigger, it goes around. And like I said, I try to stay out of politics, but right now I can't help but see the world energies. I don't watch the news too much, but people tell me what's going on. Every once in a while I tune in. And so I'm going to step out on that hairy edge of controversial, and I'm going to share a few things that have occurred to me. If you're watching this and this is just something that you don't agree with, then, just hang in there or turn it off. I don't often open up to this level, but it's time. So here goes. Right now, where we are, in the evolution of mankind, in the evolution of our hearts, in our minds, in our understanding, we are at an edge where it is razor sharp. And you will find yourself being on one side of an issue or another. We used to have gray, we used to have a lot of middle ground, and people would agree to disagree, but coming up here, especially after July and coming into the eclipse season after that, there's going to be a lot of turmoil in this world, period. You're going to see a lot of news media putting out information called fear-mongering. They're going to make things bigger than they really are. They're going to explode them, and they're going to slant them in the way they want you to believe, the way that they're trying to influence you. So it's time to put on your spiritual big girl or big boy panties and begin to see things for what they really are. Always ask God to show you the truth, the love, and the light of any situation. Don't believe what you're being fed. The stuff, I almost said it, that they're putting out is amazing. I've been going to a gym 4 mornings a week, and they have the big display screens up there as if they don't want us to be unplugged. I mean, it's crazy. Look at where TVs are. They're in everybody's home. They're now in grocery stores. You can stand there and watch some kind of commercial while you're waiting to check out. It's a huge generation of pumping people full of the media messages, and I'd like for you to look and see what those messages are telling you. I really would. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. Decide for yourself, discern it for yourself. The Bible tells us to discern it for ourselves. So I'm going to ask you, is what you're seeing actually a show, a display to get energies and anxieties pumped up and to drive this division between people? Is that what it's all about? Really ask yourself that question when you're watching the news. Watch it from a point of, what's going on here? As opposed to, oh yeah, that's what's going on. Because it's not all true. And that's about as far as I'm going to take it. But my job on this planet that I was born for and given to is to be a person to show a light, to hold a light. And there's more than just me in this world that holds a light up for everybody to see. Sometimes we're called light workers, but that's what I was brought here to do, to bring the light of God's Spirit or Source into the world, anchor it in, show people how, or teach them how to be their own person, to really develop your beautiful self, your beautiful divine gifts. It's time to move forward. It's time to clean things out. I don't know about you, but usually springtime, we do spring cleaning. We clean our houses. We get rid of things, blah, blah, I'm spring cleaning my heart and my mind at an amazingly fast speed I've never done before. And I'm going to tell you that this energy shift and changing yourself is not for sissies, right? I don't mean to make fun of people, but it's just, it's hard. It's a hard time to be alive. You've got the energies coming at you. You've got the world, the entire world playing. You know, watch the stock market. You want to know what the heartbeat of the energy system is? You know, we got the heartbeat of the earth. That's Schumann's resonant frequency. That's real. But if you want to watch what's happening in the world, you want to watch the consciousness. There we go. The consciousness of the world's heartbeat. You look at the stock market. Okay? Look at what's on the news. Look at the stock market. They all match. You become more aware of that if you're a stock market player. You'll know where to put your money, on the top side or the bottom side. But this is serious stuff. The world is at a point right now where this eclipse season is going to tilt it one way or the other. An eclipse changes the frequency of the planet. It changes the frequency of the human mind and the human heart. And it causes us to do weird things. And just think about, if you personally have been feeling weird, if you've been feeling like, I'm so done with this, or you felt a pop all of a sudden, a couple days ago, I think it was Monday, we had the energetic pop to take us to that next level. And if you're feeling those things, you know, it's some tough work, but it's a good time to evaluate the things in your mind, in your heart, in yourself, and let things go. Because what we're about to face in the next 7 months will definitely shape the way you live the rest of your life. And I don't care if you've seen a few years on the planet like me, or you're younger. This is it, folks. So in that light, it's a good idea to stay plugged in. I come here, I have been coming here to Facebook Live, I don't know how many years, and Instagram recently this year. And I'm going to be changing how I work, because what I'm finding is there's so many people, highly sensitive people, empathic people, that know that they're feeling these energies, but they've never had that label popped down their head. They don't know they're empathic, they don't know they're highly sensitive, but they're responding to these energies. And so if they are not prepared, if they don't have the information, if they're unable to realize what's happening, then they're going to do this. Pew, poop, and I won't have done my job. And that's why tonight I was a little late coming on, because I was talking to the boss. You know, the boss, okay, everybody? I'm not talking Bruce Springsteen, although he's wonderful. Hi, Bruce, if you're watching. But I'm talking about what's going on for all of us. Empaths and highly sensitive people were put on this planet by divine design to help hold the planet together when it would otherwise fall apart. There's an old movie called E.T., came out years ago, and the song off of that says, "Turn on your heart light." And if you haven't heard it, Google it, YouTube it, look it up. Because this is that time. And I don't want to put any fear into anybody, but I do want you to wake up. So exciting news. My green screen came in today. Yay! Yes! So this beautiful woman in the back may not be on as much as she usually is. And I am starting to film my classes. I used to teach a class for highly sensitive and empathic people, how to survive things, how to work through them, how to shield up their energy so that they didn't absorb so much of other people's poop, so they could ride these energy waves easier. And I stopped teaching it a few years ago. It was very intense. It took 3.5 days to be with me. You came in one person, you left another, and you had to come here to where I live in Colorado. And since the time is short and so many people need this information now, I'm starting my filming process. I just got the green screen. I can't wait to get it up and try it out and see how it all works and do the techie geeky stuff. That's going to be so exciting. And then I'm going to be shooting the films. I'll let you know here, Instagram or Facebook Live or toolsofenergyprotection.com. I will let you know when those are available. I'm going to be selling those courses so that you can get on and find out, what's going on for you, why it's going on for you, and how to work with it. Can I see a show of hands? How many people would really like to know how to work with their sensitivities? How would you like to not be exhausted every single day? How would you like to know what your position is in time and space, and who the people are around you, and how that relates to your ascension on this planet as a beautiful divine being? That's what I'm going to be teaching you. Also, I'm going to be adding a meditation, an energy clearing, group meditation energy clearing once a month, because I'm finding that folks would really like to be able to do that in the privacy of their own home. And so I'll be putting those out as well and announcing how you can join us there on that platform. But in the meantime, I'll continue to be here on Facebook Live, and I'll also continue to be on Instagram Live and then repost it on YouTube. But again, quickly, if you're just joining us, the energy is shifting so fast and so furious and so crazy right now. You might feel like you're insane. You might feel like you need the dudes in white coats to come pick you up, but you don't. This is a cleansing energy. This is a time where things are just being shaken up tremendously. And we are being prepared for this next step. And I'm going to tell you, if you are aligned to God's Spirit or Source, if your sensitivities are open, if you have your clear knowing, your clear seeing, your clear feeling, you're going to do a lot better coming up in these next 7 months than if you are not awake. So I'm going to ask, I give so much here, and I'm going to ask a small share, and that is, if you know somebody who's exhausted, you know somebody who is tired, that you know somebody who is saying, I am so done with this, then please share this video or my website, toolsofenergyprotection.com, so they can get some help. We've all got to come together now. This is it. This is the time to truly be one family of spiritual divine beings together, shining the light into this otherwise darkened world. It's going to get rough, people. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to get rough. But if you are tuned in or you're connected, you're going to be doing just fine. I know that many of you watch me, and then you also watch other people as well. Wherever you plug in, wherever you connect in, just make sure you do it. So today, again, June 4th, and this Thursday at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver, I will be doing live appointments, one-to-ones, energy clearings, helping people understand why they're so tired, why they're so done, and giving them hope, giving them light and things they can take home to do on their own. That's my biggest joy, is to come together and help people to find their own inner peace and their own inner joy, so they can go out and spread that to the rest of the world. So that's where it's at right now. I'm going to look very quickly to see if anybody has any questions in the feed. And let's see here. Okay, it looks like I don't have anything in Instagram. I have some hearts, so thank you for the hearts in Instagram. I'm glad that this message resonates with you. Over here in Facebook, thank you, Tim, for showing and watching. Hi to Sharon and Stacy. It's funny about the time there, Stacy. And hi, Monica. I'm so glad to see you. And she says she's not watching the news either. Hi to Joe. Couple people saying that they are feeling exhausted. Hi, Kathy. And yes, get some rest. I know myself today, I had a full plate. Like I said, this is a time where we're all having a full plate, a lot of things to do, maybe a lot more things than we normally do, maybe the same amount of things that we normally do, and feeling like it's so much more because of these shifts. You're going to be having some crazy nutty dreams for the next 3 or 4 days. This is normal. It's normal to have these. You're processing things out of your conscious human mind, not the super conscious spirit mind, but here. You're going to be processing a lot of things there And if you don't do it in your conscious state, you'll dream more. If you address those things, you're going to do it a little bit less in the dream state. So again, thank you so much for being a part of Facebook Live, for being a part of toolsofenergyprotection.com, for being a part of Instagram and YouTube. I really couldn't do it without you. Please do, if you're having this frustration or confusion, go to my website, toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on personal appointments, and I've put some consult times down there. So check it out, and it'll give us a chance to just see what's going on in your world and give you some tools to go forward so that you can create a better reality for yourself. And for heaven's sakes, folks, 303-964-9339. I called earlier today. I've got about 4 spots left. You can do a half hour or an hour if you like. And I am actually tutoring people at the store on occasion. And I say on occasion because I am teaching some highly sensitive people that want personal one-to-one with me. And so we're doing that at the store. They just get a regular time slot, and then we work from there. So if you'd like to do that, please reach out to me first so I know what materials to bring you when we engage. So that's it. I don't see any questions. Thank you, Sharon. I'm glad you're excited and can't wait. We'll be excited to get hooked up. In the meantime, have a great and wonderful night. Please get your rest. Please eat healthy foods and make sure that you're getting some exercise and staying hydrated. Your body's going to need it going forward. Stay safe. And thank you so much. Big hugs and kisses to everybody. Have a great night.